Each speaker has 3 minutes to speak to us. I'll start with Claire Wiles.
Ready?
Of course.
Good evening. I am here this evening to share my concerns about the inequalities that are created by the school choice policy. Last week, schools heard the most anticipated information of the year, student projections and staffing. The staff at North Eugene High School learned that we will be losing 3 teachers because 160 students who live in our attendance area have chosen to attend another high school. To be clear, these cuts are not the result of budget reductions. They stem directly from school choice policies. This reduction in staffing at North and our feeder elementary and middle schools means we will be forced to cut vital programs because we no longer have the economy of scale to offer them. These cuts will in turn drive more families away from the North region, exacerbating the problem. For 16 years, I have wrung my hands and wondered how the staff at North can work harder. We have developed new programs and even restructured our school in an attempt to serve and retain our students. I am beginning to realize, however, there has to be another answer and perhaps even another question. Despite our tremendous efforts, there are social and cultural values reinforced and codified by the school choice policy that are affecting enrollment in the North region. Eugene has 4 comprehensive high schools that all offer rigorous college preparatory programs with international baccalaureate and advanced placement classes, and similar elective and athletic programs. For all intents and purposes, they are interchangeable schools with dedicated faculties who work hard to prepare our students. So why do we have a school choice option? By its very nature, the school choice policy creates the perception that schools are more or less desirable, creating a false competition that erodes support for neighborhood schools. As an IB World School, we ask our students to embody the IB learner profile, which values inquiry, reflection, and living a principled life. As I think about these issues, I feel like a hypocrite because I have remained silent about a gross inequality in our school system that is impacting my students on a daily basis. I can no longer stay silent about the soft racism and classism of board policies and Eugene's social views that are destroying my school and sentencing our students to an educational career that only has the resources to provide core academic classes. It is easy to overlook racism and classism in Eugene because we are a small city with relatively few minorities. On the surface, we do not have the gross racial inequalities of the Chicago or LA public school systems. Only our size, however, and our small number of minorities keep us from this gross segregation, as our current policies allow parents to select a school that is more in keeping with their social values, perpetuating inequality, segregating our schools, and creating disparities in parent funding and enrollment, which then controls programs and electives that can be offered. I realize school choice has been held sacred by the people of Eugene, but we must be willing to evaluate the impact of this policy on students and programs and be ready to recognize the fundamental inequalities the policy has created and embrace change. I also just have a dream. I don't want to bring back bad ideas to you guys' mind, but I want us to spend as much time discussing equity as we did Civic Stadium.
Thank you very, very much for your time and for all of the effort that you all put into this process. Your efforts are much, much appreciated. My name is Bob Reed. I'm a special ed teacher and tennis coach. I've been at North Eugene for 7 years. For 7 years, I've had a dream and a vision to develop and nurture the best support programs for all students with a focus on special education students. My recent focus has been on math and algebra support because we have a critical need due to struggles with algebra. We have a large percentage of our students, especially our special ed students, who are struggling with that difficult subject. Today, our staff was given a prioritizing sheet by our amazing principal, asking us to prioritize a whole series of programs, including the following: class sizes, number of counselors, elective class offerings, library services, reading and math intervention and support classes. And yet to come, a decision on ESS staffing. In fact, I could get, after 7 years, could get relocated due to the cuts, potential cuts, special ed cuts at North. My question to you today is, what impact do you think these decisions and actions will have on bringing that dream to reality? As Claire suggested, I hope you will reconsider school choice and the impact it's having and will continue to have on the fulfillment of the dreams and visions we have for North and other schools in the North region. Thank you so much.
Right.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Drott. I've been a student at North for 4 years, and I wanted to also talk about school choice. So as Ms. Wells stated, schools are interchangeable. I believe educationally it taught the same material, and our teachers all care about us equally. However, there are things North has that some other schools don't have. We are the only 4-day school right now that has an ASL program with a great teacher named Kelly Copeland. We also are the only school in the 4-day district with a human sexuality class taught by Mrs. Flick, and it's a very important class, I believe. I think every high school student should take that to help them be more aware, and I wish it was at more schools, but it's not. We have very accepting community at North. We have all gendered bathrooms. We have policies about making sure people who are transgendered or any spectrum of LGBTQ are fully accepted and not harassed at school every day. We want to make students feel safe. Our teachers and staff are also very accepting and make students feel safe at school. And the teachers at our school care greatly about our health and not just our physical health. Like in PE, teachers want to make sure that you don't overwork yourself. Or in the classroom, we also have teachers who greatly care about mental health, making sure that there's no bullying problems, and if there is, that you're comfortable in your class or that you can move your class around to make sure that you are safe mentally and physically. For these reasons, I think North should always be accessible to students who feel like that is the best place for them. I know a lot of students who felt afraid to go to high school because they thought they would be in an unsafe environment, and when they came to North, they found out that it's a wonderful place to be, that they are very accepted. I have visited other high schools and have problems with people not being as accepting, and I know that that's sometimes just people, but I know that a lot of students feel like if they didn't have North, they would feel very afraid to go somewhere else. So, for that reason, I think school choice should be reevaluated to make sure that North stays accessible to a lot of people.
Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. Very good.
Thank you for the opportunity. Larry Lewin, a retired 4J teacher, now part-time U of O instructor at the College of Ed, and a co-founding member of Cape Community Alliance for Public Education. I'm here tonight to share some experiences I've had over my years as a teacher at North, working with teachers at North Eugene. In the early 1980s, I was the district's language arts TOSA teacher on special assignment. I worked with teachers around the district, including teachers at North Eugene. That was my first introduction to the staff there. I've mentored a student at North Eugene last year on a senior project. Some of my U of O grad students are placed at North Eugene under the care of cooperating teachers at North Eugene, and this year I'm a MACHA volunteer at North Eugene High School. There are teachers and administrators I respect at North Eugene and consider friends, and I'm here tonight to stand in solidarity with the North Eugene community, the students, the parents, the teachers, and the administrators to urge the board to find a solution to save this school.
Wonderful. Lots of hands. Marty Wilty, followed by Eva Lamar. Hi, Marty.
Hello. A friend of mine in public office once accused me of only calling her when I wanted to scold her. So first, let me thank you for your service. I would also like to thank Dr. Luero for his presentation on class size to us at Edison. I know that the staff is trying hard to make class sizes more equitable. But we can do better. Here's the scolding. 4J's policies have left some elementary school kids out in the cold. Camas Ridge has 420 kids in a building built for about 350. It also has 46% poverty and an average class size of 30.5 students per class. Charlemagne, down the street, has 320 kids, 20% poverty, half of Camas' special education rate, and a class size of 28, in a building that still has several vacant classrooms. Similarly, I'm told that Gillum has 3 kindergartens with 33 kids each this year. It has 513 students and 43% poverty with an average class size of 29. In the same region, Buena Vista has 130 fewer students, 7% less poverty, 1/3 Dillon special education rate, and an average class size of 27. Respectfully, both Charlemagne and Buena Vista are examples of privilege and privilege. They're great schools, but they need to expand to pull their weight in terms of class size, poverty, and special education. They should also give a priority to kids whose neighborhood schools are overfull, as well as children living in poverty and special education students until they meet district averages. If Charlemagne simply added 2 classes, not even filling all the space at Parker, we could get campus down to a more reasonable 370 kids and be at the same size itself. But we should look beyond these language immersion elementary schools. South Eugene has 18% less poverty than Camas Ridge, and average class size around 29 kids. Yes, high school class sizes are still too big, but I doubt you'll find a teacher who wouldn't find 29 seniors easier to manage than 33 kindergartners. Sheldon has 12% less poverty than Gillett, and the class size average just under 27. I understand we want to boost high school graduation rates, but we can't sell today's K-3 kids short to get shorter-term gains at the high school levels. I asked you to do 2 concrete things. First, require the immersion schools this year to pull their own weight. We're in the lottery season now. They can't continue to have lower enrollments, smaller class sizes, lower poverty, and fractions of special education rates of the neighborhood schools. Second, set a hard cap on K-3 class size at 28 students. Yes, 28 is still too high, but it is what we can accomplish today. I hope that we do get more revenue for schools in November, but we can't keep kicking the can down the road for our at-risk elementary school kids. Thank you for your service and your time.
Thank you, Marty. Eva Lamar.
School choice, I will tell you, members of this board have talked about it for the years that I've been on the board. And in the end, we shy away from it because we don't want the conflict that I will guarantee you is going to come before us if we have an honest discussion of what the impact of choice has meant to the schools in the district. We have a responsibility to provide quality education for all students across the district. What has happened over the years, those parents, and not only those parents who have financial capacity, but those parents with financial capacity find a way to talk with their wheels. And they go where they believe that they can get a better education for their children. Now, I'm not going to say it's only those people who have financial capacity. There are some people who are willing to give up everything to make sure that their child gets an education at one of our high schools that they perceive to be better than the other. This discussion of choice is well past due. We have to have it, and if we thought that the civic stadium issue was a big issue, you wait until we start making the tough choices that will have to be made. This room will not be big enough to handle the folks that are there. But we have a responsibility to do that.
Hi, so as all you know, I'm a student at North. And I just wanted to say that I love my school. I wouldn't trade my high school experience for anything else. I spent my 4 years there. And it is concerning hearing that because of school choice, we have to lose 3 of our teachers there. And because of school choice, like, is that not contributing to higher class sizes in other schools? And then leaving North Eugene with less students? And then will this later lead to having to shut down one of the 40 high schools and then leaving just 3 high schools? I mean, I just feel like there should be something more equitable for all of our students, because we should have full-rounded, educated students all over the district. It shouldn't just be one school is better than the other because of the money they get. One school shouldn't be better because of the teachers they have. So I feel like we should really reconsider what school choice is doing, not just to our students, but to our staff, to our community as well.
Thanks, Isaac. Anyone else?
Well, truth, my kid went to Buena Vista, And I know how hard that conversation was before I was on the board, to have the conversation with the other parents about the inequity of having what we had at Buena Vista. And it was hard to talk about that than who started kids sports basketball, which is also a tough conversation. But I do agree that it's going to be a tough conversation. It's going to be one that's going to have to be had with the community. And I know 2 superintendents ago, when this subject was broached, it said it was 10 years ago, the community response. And I was amazed at people's inability to see the inequities. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm ready for that conversation. And I think it's very important that we have that. One last thing, we recently talking about something of my paying job, and that had to do with the school board. And somebody asked me, well, where do you think the school board is in supporting North? Do you think they'll support it? Well, so we've got 3 people that live in the North District, and I would say every single school board member has North as a top priority to support. So that's what I shared with my staff last week, and I share it with you as well. I truly believe that about this school board. To a person, they support North Eugene and see the issues that are, maybe not all of them, but certainly from where we sit, we see those issues and we talk about them in public and occasionally one-on-one, but no decisions are made. Thanks.
Anyone else? I just wanted to thank you all for being here, those of you that didn't speak but raised your hands in support. I appreciate this, and I think it is a conversation that's long overdue and something that we will be speaking about soon. It's a complicated issue, not to point out Marty, but specifically, we have put caps on our immersion schools so we didn't take away from neighborhood schools. It was a part of our policy that has been in place since we put in school choice. So things have changed, but it's not as if some of our schools aren't pulling their weights. They don't have an opportunity. So to be able to consider that at this point and consider some of the other choices that are made, specifically things around Camas Ridge. Camas Ridge took in additional transfers. So there's lots of levers that are pulled in looking at class sizes and school choice and different things that I do think we need to have a comprehensive discussion about the policy that's set that has had some unintended consequences. So I appreciate everyone for being here tonight.